Well, thank you all for joining my own mini podcasts-ish of called, Borderless Conversations. And the whole idea behind Borderless Conversations is to speak to people who are building the borderless way, the diaspora, folks in Africa. And it's not very specific to founders. It's open to anybody who's willing to have a conversation live. I'm sure that we're all overwhelmed with so many podcasts out there, but I think this conversation where people can actually join live is something I want to do more of. And Wale and I don't know how many years it's been, but I've known Wale for at least 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And I think it's been primarily an internet relationship, but it's kind of like we've started with Hoke, and then we've met in person a couple of times, we've partied a couple of times, and now we're both our founders. And I'm hoping to talk to you, Wale. I have a lot of questions that are a bit personal.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think like when you're speaking to people, you really want to get to know the people behind the company. And I'll be hosting these quite a bit. And the good thing is we post them online. It's not very, but ideally we just want to bring people who are building something, right? And that's been the style. And yeah, I'm excited to have you with me today, Wale. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, I wanted to, again, for folks who are here listening in, like Wale and I have known each other for a while, and this might seem like just the two of us having a banter, having a conversation, but that's the whole point of this, right? And we could be having this in a coffee shop, but we decided to record it and talk about it. And if you find or learn something about it, or learn something from this conversation, great. If not, well, I'm not sure, but I can guarantee that you will learn stuff. Wale, I'm glad to have you today. You're a software engineer, and then you moved to the UK. Then like you're also an angel investor, and now you're building your own startup. I wanted to kind of to maybe like, I don't know how long you've been in the UK, but tell me that journey from like Wale to you getting into the UK.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I've been in the UK for 4 years now. Right around the time that we've known each other. So I joined Hook while I was in Nigeria, by the way.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I was probably like the second batch of people that joined Hook. Babaji didn't make that plug here because I reached out to him one time. I was trying to join Rally Cap. So he was like, yo, like, don't jump straight into VC investments. I think you should speak with Joey first. Let's see what we can do from there. The rest, like the sales history. So before moving to the UK, 4 years ago, I was working as a software engineer back in Nigeria, heavily with most of the companies I worked for back then were companies based in the United States. The last company I worked for before leaving was Namely, and Namely is an HRIS product, SaaS product, based out of New York, and we were serving like the mid markets in that region, but in New York and literally anywhere in the world that cares to use our product. So we are in the competition with the likes of Bamboo HR back in the day. So I worked for Namely for a little less than 2 years before I made the jump to come to the UK. And prior to that, I was working with Andela. At Andela, and I think Andela shaped my career in a different way. So my life at Andela had the two parts to it. I came into Andela as a software development learning facilitator. Essentially, I was training the Andela engineers. I was a trainer. So Andela was where I kind of like made myself in terms of being beyond just a trainer. So I transitioned back to being an engineer after training folks for a while in Andela. Before Andela, I was working with a company called EchoBits. And EchoBits is also me training. So I've always been in the business of developing developers, if that makes sense.
So you're like,
engineers. Yeah, I'm the developer's developer.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I've always had a passion for like impacting knowledge, training people more on the guidance part of side of things. I feel like there are two ways to impact knowledge. You could teach people and you could guide people.
Mm.
I'm fortunate enough to be able to do both. So in EchoBeat, I was more teaching. In Andela, it was more guidance due to the experience I came with. So that was my life then. An unfortunate incident happened in October 2020, NSAS for folks that are in Nigeria, and that was my clarion call to begin to find an exit. Because I was part of, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. I joined the protest, the one that happened in Akoka in Yaba, because I used to stay in Yaba in Nigeria, so I actually went out to protest. I didn't go to the island because it was too far from me, obviously. But imagine if I was staying in the island, I might have been one of those folks there on that day. So, and that was like, yeah, this is not it. And I plotted my exits to come to the UK.
Interesting. And yeah, I think October 2020 is such a day that is engraved in all of our memories, regardless of whether you're Nigerian or not, right? And anybody who's not aware of that data, I really encourage you to go do the research because it's quite a pivotal moment for the youth. And I think, like Wale yourself, many people have migrated since. And that was such a defining moment, especially for people who are super talented, who they can work anywhere, right? But many of us are quite patriotic. But also, like, it's one thing to be patriotic, but also it's another thing to be safe. And comfortable, right? And I think as humans, we chase comfort. And I think that has, like in my case, it brought my parents to Europe, which in turn, they brought me over when I was much, much younger. I want to talk about like moving to the UK. I don't know if did you go to school in the UK? Did you go to school in the West, or has your life always been in Nigeria?
My life has always been in Nigeria. The first time I took an international flight was coming to the UK.
What? Really?
Yeah. Just a little bit of background context. If you have read Victor Osimhen's article, folks have read online, my story is quite similar. Certain points are very identical. So so my first international flight was relocating to the UK.
Do you are you comfortable talking about like this like backstory?
We don't have to. That would be a conversation for another time.
Okay, all right. So I will make sure to keep to remind you when we see in person next.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How's life between the UK and Nigeria? Like, what do you find different? One thing that I discovered, again, like I actually took a flight when. One second, they say there's some people waiting to be admitted. One second. Can somebody help me with admitting folks?
There's no one in the wait list.
Okay.
Join back.
Benedict, yes, please ask them to leave and come back. So when I moved to Ireland at the age of 15, I was just like, it's like a different world. I'd love to hear your experience as well from when you went from Nigeria to to the UK. Was there any similarities? What are the main differences? I'm keen to often get other people's perspective on migration.
Yeah, I mean, I moved to here when I was very old. Well, not very old. I was much older. I wish I was. If I was 15, maybe I could have very interesting perspective. For me, I kind of like knew what I was getting into. I already knew that yes, there is no NEPA. There's always lights. That was a big. It wasn't of a surprise for me because I kind of like knew that before coming. I think some of the culture shock. One interesting culture shock is I used to go to Tesco a lot. So back in Nigeria, when you go to the supermarket, you don't pay for bags. It's implied that if I buy something, you offer me a bag, and that's it. No one told me that it's different here. So every time I go to Tesco and I buy some stuff, I don't go with a bag. So like, do you want a bag? In my head, I'm like, it sounds rhetorical. Like, why are you asking me? Obviously, I would want a bag. So I kept taking a bag until I went to the store with my friend someday. I'm like, you know you're paying for this bag that you're always collecting? I'm like, what do you mean I'm paying? So check the receipts. And
You're
that was
just
the last time.
paying.
And that was the last time I went to any of this big supermarkets without going with my own bag. I'm like, it's ridiculous. Anyway, that was a big culture shock. Aside from that, the UK is it's different. Obviously, the weather is different. I'm not ashamed to say I prefer the Nigerian weather. It's too cold. It's too cold. But in terms of people, it's been lovely, and the community has been very helpful. I'm always looking forward to going to London, even if I don't stay in London. And every time there's a Hoke event, I'm eager to be there. Like that community. So I feel like the diaspora community has helped me a lot. I think that's the major difference. When I was in Nigeria, you don't take these things, you don't hold them at that value because you're home. Like everything is accessible. There is the follow. I used to be part of the follow community, like this dev center and all of that. But you don't hold them at that regard. Then when you leave the space you're in, now you're like, oh, I'm in an island. I need to find my people, need to find my clique. And I think Hoke has really done that for me.
Oh, thank you. Just for anybody who's in London, I'm hosting a puff puff party. Puff puff as in actual puff puff, not puff puff. Just say I had to clarify that. Puff puff party on Sunday. If you're in London, drop me a note, and I'll send you the invite. But yeah, Hoke events. We have more coming up. Talking about Hoke, you came in Hoke as an angel. I'd love to know, and I promise you, we're going to talk about OnBuddy. I wanted to know, what was it like? Tell me about your experience as an angel investor, investing in African entrepreneurs. And I think what we're really good at is enabling first-time angels. So I'd love to know your experience and even how did you improve? How did you get better as an investor as time went on?
Yeah.
Or worse?
Oh yeah, true. You could get worse. It's all about bets and making the right bets. So first off, being an angel, a lot of people, there's a misconception about being an angel investor. There's this assumption you have to be an HNI at top of the list to be an angel investor. You have to have certain amount of money and liquidity to you, but that's not the case. The risk reward is very low for angel investing. I tell people you're really not risking so much. Because everything you're risking is not a lot of money for you. For context, at Hoke, you can invest as low as 1,000. I think we've seen cases where you invest as low as 500 in the early days. So, and now it's basic 1,000. So, how I got into it was interesting. I've always been a supporter of entrepreneurs. I've been an entrepreneur myself all my life, even if I've had day jobs. I've been buying and selling. The Victor Osimhen use case, I said, I've sold pure water, sold ice cream, sold yogurt, sold Coke water. I've sold recharge card in the street. I've chased down food to sell recharge card. So I've always been selling one thing or the other. I've always been there. And so seeing people trying to do stuff, and if I'm in a position to support, I would do it even without you asking. So when I learned about Hoke from Babajide and he told me about Hoke and I joined, I saw the portfolio companies that were coming in. The good thing is they were within the space that I'm in. It's usually technology. I'm an avid technologist myself, if I do say so. And I understand what's going on, the products that people are building. I could relate to them, see the problems they're solving, and that influences my judgment of, hey, this is the play, and it's back home. Why not? Because if they win, it helps. It provides jobs. It creates a market and resources, opens up new markets, and we need to actually grow. Local, we don't have enough access to capital locally. I think diaspora needs to step in. And now that I'm here as one of the diaspora, I should not wait till I'm a multi-millionaire. I'm not a millionaire yet, but I'm not, so I shouldn't wait before I could give back. So yes, how do you get better is interesting. I think it's it's a muscle. It's like going to the gym. You can't get better with something if you don't do it, and you keep learning all the time, right? I think I'm fortunate because a community like Hoke has been very helpful with learning materials and guides to invest in and making calls. And I think one of my I don't know if I'm allowed to go into the details of some of our investments.
You can go for it.
I can. Oh, cool. So I think one of the deals that I did, I was very proud of, was Old School. I'm sure you were thinking about maybe Lemfi.
I was thinking about something else. Yeah.
I know. Oh, okay. Mine is Old School, and the reason is, like I said, I've been training all my life, right, from Echo Beats to Andela, and what Old School is doing, education. I believe so much in education and knowledge because that is what saved me that is what led me here. So I see people building within that space. I'm not even interested in your business plan or how you figure the markets. Hey, you're trying to impact knowledge, grow people. I'm in. I'm in. You're doing something impactful. So yeah, you have to have as an investor, you try to have your own thesis. Not every investment is meant to return all of your capital. Some are impact investments. You could join funds for those specifically. So yeah, I think that's it for me.
So Wale, I'm literally going to clip this part and use it as a promo for Hulk because you described it much better. And also, one thing I wanted to add is it's not like while it's impact, when these companies work out, you also get paid, right? It's not free money. Yeah. And because the low end or the risk is the amount that you'll be losing is so low, it's actually worth it. And I really believe that we can pull so many of us together and these $1,000 can add up very quickly. And I'm glad that we're able to do that work now. Okay, I'm going to switch gear very quickly. We've been talking for 20 minutes and we've said nothing about what you pulled in. And I want to change that. So you're not building OnBuddy. And I'm guessing it's not something that you woke up, think, oh, we're going to build this. Can you share a bit about your work at ProteusAI and how that essentially shaped what OnBuddy is becoming now? And if you just tell us what Proteus is, and then we can talk about OnBuddy.
Oh, cool. So Proteus is an AI company that helps organizations and individuals build AI characters and embed those characters in tools like WhatsApp, most messaging platform, either on their website, to answer things like questions, WhatsApp, Telegram, and the likes. That's ProteusAI. It's a low-code platform, and we provided APIs for people that want to go real deep into doing that. This project was started by myself and my co-founder in late 23 or early 24. I think the date is. And we didn't do it as we wanted to build a company. We were just, hey, we're playing. That was when LLM started, ChatGPT. I was like, oh, what can we do with this? We got access to the API and started building things out. We went far, actually. We got people to use it and we got people to pay for it, which was really cool and interesting. But as we got to an inflection point, we wanted to move into organizations. It was mostly individuals that are just for the fun of it. A few companies came on board, but they were not high growth companies. The companies are still trying to figure it out. They were also hey, this is LLM thing, AI, what's going on? How can we use it? And we provided a way for them to just see the value in real time. When we began speaking with organizations to use it, they keep telling us oh, it is cool, but this is what they want instead, right? They want a platform that kind of have knowledge of their own that are accessible to the employees and all of that stuff. We're well, you could do this, but you could embed it this way. No, they're we want it to be able to do X, Y, Z. And that was how OnBuddy started. So we spoke to, if I'm not exaggerating, over 30 organizational leaders within the people management, operations space, a lot of HRs, and just people that are founders and CEO. Yes, if we could have this tool that kind of helps us onboard our employees, okay, we'll do more research into this and see if there is something there. We did, and we and that it was funny because OnBuddy has evolved, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first light bulb moment was we were having this conversation. We're well, the tool we built with ProteusAI can actually do what you're asking for, but ProteusAI in itself was built for people that were a bit technically astute.
Mm-hmm. People like yourself.
People like myself. Because we're engineers, so we're mostly building for people ourselves, right? But for organizations, they don't want to go in and start setting things up.
Yeah.
So they need a way for us to encapsulate the solution. Like, okay, I think we'll do this. Then the first demo hit home run. Like, oh, okay, yes, we'll use this. But that also led to other things. I guess maybe we'll get to that in the past. So that was how OnBuddy started. People needed, organizations needed a way to have like their informations crumbled in one place and make it accessible to their employees in a way that is easily to distill.
I like it. And you essentially started with onboarding, right? So essentially, a company that's onboarding like new employees, but then you're not evolving to essentially help teams and the entire ops or the operations of a company. Can you talk about that evolution? Because I know you're already touching on it, so I want to know where you started. So your customers are saying, okay, well, you're giving us this number, we want this. And I want to know, so tell me about the roadmap from what you first built, the core product itself, and what are you building now?
Yeah, the core product had two major functions to help with information access for employees during onboarding phase, and also the steps of onboarding. One of the things the HR folks we spoke to always made mention is, there's usually like a checklist they have to go through, which is done manually, and for every new hire, they have to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. The pain point for them is not even doing that, is they have to keep reaching out, follow up, align this individual to whoever their manager is. So those are the core problem we were solving with OnBuddy, those two things. So we have this intelligent automated checklist that has like the tasks embedded into them. It takes the HR person with the new employees, new hires, from pre-boarding activity down to the first 90 days activities, all automated. So they no longer have to chase people. So OnBuddy becomes responsible for taking this new employee through that experience. And in all of those activities, it ties them. So if there's a manager in the loop that needs to be reached out to, if they have to work with IT, OnBuddy is responsible for this coming together of resources and tools for onboarding. But we learned an interesting lesson. If you solve a problem for a customer, they'll give you more problems.
Yes.
They'll give you more problems. So they're like, oh yes, this is cool, we love it. Can it do XYZ? Like, first of all, can it store records? What do you mean records? Oh, the names, the dates of birth and stuff. Like, well, we don't intend to do that, but we could for your sake because you're a customer and might as well, since we are in the process. Then they kept asking for more and for more and for more. Then we realized there is a big gap in the market. So this HR and ops are usually used to having some sort of HRIS software, which is essentially for managing records, system of records, but they needed more. They need something beyond just system of records. They needed a system of action. And that was what they couldn't say, but that was what they were saying by describing their problems every time they speak with us. So we took that and we got busy and OnBuddy began to evolve to what it is today, and it keeps evolving. It's not close to its final state. I keep telling everyone, like, this is the worst OnBuddy ever you're experiencing right now.
Can I ask for a demo? Do you have a demo?
Yeah, I could do a quick overview of it. I'll just show folks that are interested. Maybe.
Yeah. And before you do that, I want to know, what is your idea of the end state of OnBuddy? Like, in the perfect world, when everything works out, what would customers, what problems will you take away from these big or small, medium enterprises?
That's a very good question. It's one that requires a lot of thoughts and also a lot of context. In the last 3 years, the world has changed drastically. I mean, for everybody alive. The world has changed drastically, and how we work has also changed and evolved, right? but that also presents more problems or different problems, not more problems, but different problems that needs to be solved. We're moving from a state of stale systems that hold records to systems that are becoming more proactive, and it has to be guided because we are all like, oh, what if AI is this doomsday technology that some folks are making it seem, right? That context and knowing that work has evolved, we have to begin to build tools that guide us as we go, but also work with us on our day-to-day basis. The software or the tools that we use right now are not going to be as relevant as the tools that are being built right now in the next 5, 10, 15 years. That is just the truth. There was a time every browser, it's probably Internet Explorer. If Microsoft learns the hard way, now they have, what's the name? Is it Edge?
Yes.
I think it's Edge, yeah. And I'm hearing news now, Edge is as good or even if not better than Google Chrome. I don't know how true that is. Anyway, I don't use either. I still have Google Chrome for now until we replace it with OnBuddy. Maybe OnBuddy will have a browser. So anyway, the end states for OnBuddy, I don't think it's going to be an end state. It's going to be an ever evolving state because the product itself has to evolve with humans and how we work. Now there is a lot of agents in the marketplace, right? Who are working with agents daily. They're working directly with these agents. There has to be a layer, a foundational operational layer that makes this all work together. First off, there has to be a layer with all of the tools that we use. One of OnBuddy's promises, we're going to bring all of your tools that you use, we'll make it one, and a single interface, but you have the benefits of all of the tools that you use. Now, what if that is not just for humans? What if that is also for agents themselves? As a human beings work together, they have tools. Now, agents are beginning to have tools. Well, they need an orchestrator in between that answers to the context of that specific organization. It's about the organization. It's not about like the tools or the agents. It's how does this tie? What value will organizations get? But you don't get value until your resources, in this case, could be your human resource or your agent resource, are performing at their utmost highest level. And that is where OnBuddy comes in.
Dude, I feel like you're living in 2030. You're literally so ahead. I think you're so ahead of the pack. Like I know with everything that's happening with OpenClaw and agents, and then we describe this thing, it's so clear. I can see it. It's very clear.
I'm going to say this here. It is not controversial. Before OpenClaw, I wrote an article December, or that was when I started writing. I think I published either first week or in December, and I coined a term called autonomous worker operators. Then literally 3 weeks ago, OpenClaw came out. And everyone was like, the wave. I'm like, well, sort of. I've been screaming about this for a while. That it's because, again, it's not enough that you give agents or this AI things that they have to do. They don't have a lot of context, one, and context is also not enough. They don't know why you're performing these actions. So then when you bring in the why, then you have to realize that the AI has to be present from conception of that idea or whatever, or your goal you're trying to achieve, down to the execution phase. Bringing AI to only execute, you get shabby results, and that is not good for the world. So we'll get to a point where there is what we are saying on OnBuddy here, like presence. OnBuddy is going to be present with you. The goal is to make OnBuddy invincible.
Invincible.
So Joe, right now, we all make assumptions. If I meet you, hey, can I have your phone number? You'd give me your phone number, most likely, if I ask you rightly. But this is me already assume when you have a phone, there is a SIM card attached to it. You have electricity, there's power on your phone. I've made all of these assumptions. Now, no one cares about electricity in this part of the world. Gradually, it's going to happen back home also because you assume everyone has it. You assume everyone has a phone. OnBuddy, we're going to assume every organization has OnBuddy. So it's not going to be like, oh, use OnBuddy. It's going to be invincible, but it is there. No one wakes up and talks about electricity.
Yep.
But it is there. It makes, if it goes off, everything shuts down. The AI shuts down, everything. The world literally shuts down because for some goddamn reason, the water dries up in the world, and we no longer can make hydroelectric.
Yeah.
So the vision eventually for OnBuddy is to make it invincible for organizations. It's going to be implied. Like if you work in a company, you have an email of that company. It is implied. No one. It's not something that it's implied. So OnBuddy is going to be implied. That's the end goal. No one wakes up. You start a company. You're not thinking of OnBuddy. It's by default. Like you just have to have it. Yeah.
I like this. It's given infrastructure. All right. It's given Swift. Because the way I tend to describe Borderless is like think of it as Swift. When you're sending money, you don't think about Swift. You just expect that the money is gonna get there. Right. And I like how many of us are really even thinking beyond infrastructure. Because sometimes you see the infrastructure, but they're really far. Like with the plumbing, you don't see. I like that end state. I had a question around competitors, but I don't even know why we should be talking competitors if you're going to be infrastructure. Like, we're not going to talk about that, but I'm keen to know, like, who else is doing this on the market and what makes you different? Like, you've given me some. The only thing is I don't have money these days because you and I are founders because we're raising money. If I have money, I'll just write you a check because the way you describe the end state, it sounds like it's evolving and it's moving with the world because the world is changing so fast. Yeah. I'm keen to know what other people are building something similar and why would OnBuddy become the infra and not them?
Good question. What other people are building this? I made a prediction in one of our mutual friends, Francis, where he was doing bold bets. And my prediction was we are going to see more autonomous workers and we would see big AI cos compete in the SaaS space, in the productivity space. Talking about that, Anthropic announced Claude Cowork.
Yeah. Wait, so, before or after your prediction?
After my prediction.
Wow. Okay.
After my prediction, they released Claude Cowork. I'm like, okay, we're getting there, and it's it's just 2 months in the year. So yes, they will be. I don't want to say unfortunately, the providers of this large language models will inherently be the competitor for someone like us. Yes, but the reason why we would win is, like I tell most of our early pilot customers, is we care because you have access to us, one, in terms of what we're building, and we kind of like have a deeper context, root cause as to what you're trying to solve and what is better for your organization. They are throwing sticks to the wall and see what sticks. Mm-hmm. That is what they're going to do. And if you notice, they're also looking for a way for consistent, for lack of a better word, revenue, aside from the foundational models they've built. So it's not enough for them. If we've learned anything in this space that we've been playing with technology, it's hard for a big incumbent on a space to come into very specialized fields and dominate.
Yeah.
One, they don't care so much about the market. It's not about the market. It's not about the value they're going to provide. So what makes OnBuddy stand out in this space is, one, you could say we have deeper context within the market. I've worked in HIRS. I understand productivity from a human perspective, and I also understand it from an intelligence AI perspective, right? So we're going to build tools that evolve with organizations as we're building organizations. At the end, it is not just about throwing things to the wall and see what sticks. It's about evolving with the organizations you're dealing with. So,
yeah, I mean, you've got big competitors, but then again, companies like Harvey in the legal space can exist alongside them. Then I have no doubt that OnBuddy will also be able to own their space. I'm conscious of time. I think this was supposed to be like 35 minutes, but we're at 37 minutes. You tell me about your fundraise. Like, how have you found fundraising as a founder? Because you were an angel, but now kind of switching things around and you're raising capital. Well, I'm assuming you're raising capital. How have you found that process? As somebody who's raising for, like, in the age that we are in today, how have you found it? Was it easy? Was it hard? Have you raised 5 million? I don't know.
Yeah, it's I guess when you're sitting across the table, it's a different perspective. As an angel, I don't think about it so much because the portfolio companies come, I assess, I look at the deck, I see if I see what I like. It's pretty easy. And but when you reverse the role, you're like, oh shit, this is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. Have I been finding it easy? The short answer is no, but it's been interesting. It's been eye-opening to sit across the table as a founder. I think my biggest, not maybe the biggest challenge with raising now is in this current time is the requirement has changed. If we're being real, if you're raising for pre-seed 2 years ago, if you're raising for pre-seed, what you need to raise a pre-seed is not the same thing as now.
I agree.
It's not. Yeah, from market perspective, from a product perspective, everything has changed. So you most likely be getting to a seed level for 2 years ago for you to get a pre-seed right now. So when you think about that, you realize as early stage founder, you have to actually go deeper than you would normally. Normally, you could just spring up with your idea on a deck and get money. Or you could do a prototype literally just sketched out. That there is no, in fact, you've not even bought the domain. You don't even know what you would call the product yet, and you get money. Now, you do all of this. You actually even build a product. The chances that you get money is not, it does not still increase. You need to get some form of traction to it too. So it's been challenging, but slowly but surely we're kind of like getting there. We're currently raising our official pre-seed round.
Okay.
We have a few numbers now to show, and yeah.
Yeah, can you talk about that traction very quickly? How many customers are using the platform? And yeah, mostly that.
Yeah, we have actively, I think we have 6 organizations, and in total they have 80 professionals on it.
Okay.
Currently actively, those are the active ones. So the non-active ones, we have over 300 that they come on and off. It's not very consistent. So the active one, those are the numbers. And it's keep growing. The crazy thing now is we are beginning to see natural outbound where we're just sat on our own and someone just comes to us like, hey, so we want to use your product. How can I use your product? I'm like, cool, we do a demo, they like it, some clues, they're gonna get back to us, longer sales cycle, B2B and security and all of that, which wasn't the case when we started because we have to do all the hard work. But now we are beginning to see people come to us. Yeah.
I love it. Well, that's very useful. And for those interested about your fundraise, how can they learn more? How can they get in touch with you?
Please get in touch with me on LinkedIn immediately. We're using Borderless to raise our pre-seed round. So I think we could drop the link on Borderless for that. But reach out to me. I'll drop my LinkedIn. That's the best way to reach me. Reach me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to speak to you. I'm happy to walk you through the products, even if you want. So yeah, LinkedIn is the best way to reach me. And I'm happy to drop my email also, if that helps.
Yeah, what we'll do is for folks who join this call or people who sign up, we'll share the link with them, and also share your email information with them to be able to reach out and learn more. Somebody wanted to know about your revenue model, Musalani. I think you two should probably find time to catch up and essentially, like, you can share with them. I know him, so I can introduce you guys. Yeah, if that's okay. That's all for me. I'm actually so glad that we did this because your background is very interesting. Yes, I know you, but I don't feel like I know you up until now. And also, like, the way you describe the future state of OnBuddy is super inspirational in the sense that there's a sense of awareness of the world that you're building in. And I think you're really taking that into account as you're building. And I feel like many companies should do the same because things are going to evolve very fast. And I think the folks who are flexible are the ones who are going to win. So yeah, thank you for making time for me. Any questions for me? Any questions from the audience? We have like 3 minutes. If you have a question, you can just unmute yourself and go for it. I guess not. Wale,
Yes.
I know
Yeah.
you're a busy guy, so I will not hold you for too long. I'm glad we got to do this. With your permission, we'll share some clips online, but also the whole video is on our YouTube page. That's where we post everything. Yeah, I hope you get to close around. I hope with the stuff that we talk about, more customers can reach out to you. And I think we need OnBuddy out there in the world, in the ether, to control these agents on our behalf. Huh?
Yes, we do. We do. It's been a pleasure, Joe. Glad to be here. And, I can't wait to come back, and probably when we've closed a crazy round.
Yeah, me too. I feel like I'm itching to write checks again, but because I'm seeing more and more deals that I'm very interested in, and I do have my own private investor group.
Family office?
No, I said, listen, there'll be signs. That I'll tell you. But like I have a private investor group that I post things that I care about in that group, because even if I don't have like excess capital to deploy, I think I want to be able to like share. I want to be able to share deals that I care about. So if anybody's interested, more than happy to add you to that group, if I know you and if I know you're a serious investor.
A quick I forgot before, I just saw that someone posted it. At the start of this year, we're beginning to do an open house for OnBuddy. So we did the very first one in January, the end of January. So we're doing another one this Thursday. So this open house, we showcase some of the new features that we've built into the product. So essentially build it in public. So we do like a public demo. Everyone is welcome. My co-founder is on this call, Franklin. He just dropped the link for that. So you want to see how OnBuddy works, please come on Thursday. There will be a public and open house. Please register. Look forward to seeing you there. It's I think one thing I also learned as an angel, I know we're out of time, Joe, but I just want to check this in, is one thing I learned as an angel that I'm using right now is making sure that, because the world has changed, your product is visible to the world. And that's something we're trying to be intentional about. Yeah, please come on Thursday. You can see OnBuddy live in action. I don't know if we still have time for me to just even show you like a glimpse of what it looks like. But
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I'll share my screen.
Go for it. You should have access.
Okay. I think I'm here. I'm on the screen too. Please let me know when it pops up. Okay, awesome. So this is a static view of OnBuddy, and this is what you see on the dashboard. Again, one of the power of OnBuddy is actually you don't really have to come here. You don't actually have to come here. OnBuddy works in your workspace. So if you're using Slack at work, OnBuddy works with you on Slack, right? Only the admin ever have to come here. So this view I'm showing you is the view for me as an admin. And this dashboard is just, you get some inspirational quotes as life is going. We can capture your pulse based off how you feel, but also OnBuddy kind of like measure those pulse against the activities that you have going on at work. So like, again, it's the foundation, but the goal is to help people become more productive, right? This is our pulse activity dashboard for the organization. You could see the emotion breakdown of people. So this new world, people are more expressive about how they feel at work. So we encourage people to share, and it helps in decision making. And you could see the things. So one thing OnBuddy does, OnBuddy is proactive. I said that, suggested by OnBuddy.ai. So prepare for raise by Borderless Call. So OnBuddy has access to my calendar. Most of these features are in beta, right, for us. So it knows that I have to do this, and it creates it based off what it knows I'm supposed to do. It has access to my calendar, it has access to my to-do list. OnBuddy also captures things like tax. So these are the top priority things. If things like, hey, Wale, I know you're busy. You don't have to create these things yourself, but I am suggesting you to do this. Now, if you have, I'll make a very quick distinction with products like OpenClaw. And OpenClaw will go ahead and just do this for you. But that is unsafe, right? That is not secure. And organizations would not want that. You want a bit of control. You want a bit of sanity in the entire insanity going on. And that's where OnBuddy comes in. You could, of course, you could give it power to go ahead and do this, but you have the control not to make it so. This is the overview dashboard. There are other interesting, cool things that are in here. The power of OnBuddy is on Slack and Microsoft Teams and then WhatsApp. As you can see, we have this cool Kanban view of things that are going on. So we capture. I was speaking for Lakem the other day, and she made a statement that I used in one of my posts. She said, "Oh, OnBuddy is like a linear for operations." I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's what I'm looking at it.
You should have started with this. That should be on your pitch deck.
Yeah, OnBuddy is like linear for operations. Linear is for products and project management, mostly engineering and products, right? But everybody else, you just have to figure stuff out. You have so many tools that you're using. You're using Notion for something is on Drive, but you can't capture all your work in one place. And when it's time for performance review, you have to look for all the things you've done. But for engineers, they just have to go to their linear board or Jira board. They could see the epics, the stories, everything is tracked. But for everybody else, where is that living? It's probably living in your head, which, as we know, you might forget, in some Google Docs, which cannot be seen by your admin. You could literally just prompt OnBuddy like, hey, give me all my tasks for Q1 to Q2. And it shows you, gives you the reports. You can see all of that. So we have that. There are really cool, other cool stuff. Things like integrations. Let me show you some integrations real quick. Integrations are the tools that you already use. One thing we are doing, we build these integrations based off customer requests. So all of these integrations.
Wait, you have WhatsApp integration. Now I can finally reply to all my WhatsApp unread messages.
Yes, yes, getting close to that. So we have WhatsApp, we have Asana. So this is this is built off requests that customers make to us. Like, hey, can it do this? And we have this tool that we're using. Once you become like a customer of ours, we'll listen to those requests and bring those tools for you. So you have like a lot of the rings, one ring to rule them all. So the ultimate productivity hack, but for the future, it's not stale. It's proactive. It's not waiting for you to give it instructions on what to do. There's so many interesting things, right? We are not an HIRS. When we started, we said, yes, we're helping people on board. But it got to a point, some of those customers' requests will be leading you to a path. But I think one thing I also learned being an angel and bringing that experience to a founder is the customer will lead you in some places that are probably not ripe for you to go into. One thing we did as after that is we have this thing called people, members, and groups. People currently are using us to replace HRIS, but we're very strict so that we're not going to do payroll. So we're not doing payroll, but you could manage your people here if you wanted to. So which means your data is here, how they're performing, everyday task is here. So you could see the activity logs, what's going on, who is working on what, you could see them. Yeah, that's like the summary of OnBuddy, but the usefulness of the tool comes within your workspace. I use OnBuddy every day on Slack. Like that is where I use it. It's because of this demo I had to actually come to the UI to show you. So and something really cool that we shipped. I don't know if this was you know what? Come up on Thursday and sign up for the open house. You'd see some of these things in action. I don't want to go into more details. Let me not ruin it for the guys. Let me not go into the switches yet. I'll stop sharing my screen now.
You know what? Your excitement is getting me excited. No, it's thank you for the demo. I know I asked for it, but I was looking at time. I'm glad we actually got to do it. For folks who are watching the video and it's past Thursday, please go check out OnBuddy.ai, reach out to Wale. And for those who are here, please do join the live session. We'll also send a link via the follow-up email. And yeah, I hope many of you get to use OnBuddy, hopefully get to invest in OnBuddy. But yeah, Wale, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. For everyone else, you know where to find us. We are online on Borderless. I'm not going to go through all the stuff that we do. Please go to onborderless.com. You'll see all the cool stuff we do. We're investment infrastructure for the African diaspora. So we build for investors, but now we're spinning some of the tools for founders to make their lives very easily. We haven't actually announced a raise publicly. The plan is to do it next week, and we've actually gotten a pretty cool AI tool, which is a fundraising assistant for founders. Wale, maybe we might get you to try it out because it's pretty dope. Yeah, we want to essentially combine all our experiences into helping founders throughout that fundraising process, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done before you get to the technology. And we've built an AI application to enable that. And if you don't know me, my name is Joe Kinvey. You can find me on LinkedIn. I am also on TikTok, but don't tell anybody. Just, go follow Joe. On Instagram, and yeah, I'm one of the founders of Borderless. So thank you all for joining this session. All right, gotta go. Bye.
Bye.
Got it. Bye.